Trancoso emerged between the 8th and 9th centuries, and although it is known for its delicious sweet sardines, a conventual pastry, and for having been the setting for a royal wedding, there is much more to discover, visit, or, well, taste. But today we'll be introduced to our land by us. Hi, I'm Bárbara.
Hello, I'm David.
Hi, I'm Alexandre.
Hi, I'm Leonardo.
Hi, I'm Diego. In the Middle Ages, Trancoso was one of the main settlements in the region and an important commercial center due to the Saint Bartholomew Fair, which is still one of the biggest events in the municipality today. This is the oldest free fair in the country, having been created in 1273. With over 750 years of history, it is an event that combines tradition, music, and fun.
In the heart of the city stands Trancoso Castle, at the height of 939 meters. It is older than the Kingdom of Portugal itself, dating back to the 18th or 9th century. Its majesty reminds us of the military importance of Trancoso's location on the border. At the center of the fortification lies the donjon, the main tower. It stands out for its unusual appearance of pre-Romanesque influence. In our castle, we also find the Saint Barbara Chapel, a former place of worship. Initially, the village of Trancoso was concentrated only inside the castle, and only later did people begin to live outside its walls.
The historic center is now surrounded by walls dating back to the reign of King Afonso III, or King Dinis. These walls have 4 gates and 3 small doors: the El Rei Gate, the Prado Gate, the Traição Gate, and the Carvalho or João Tição Gate.
Hold on, Alexandre. João Tição? Why?
Good question. If we look closely, we can see that the gate is ornate with an image of a knight. This refers to João Tição da Fonseca, who, according to the legend, penetrated the Moorish camp, stole the enemy flag, and surrendered on his return, threw it inside the walls shooting. Jump horse, die man, live on in fame. He ended up dying at the hands of the Moors, but the flag was already inside the walls. Heroic, right?
Oh, of course. In regards to the gates, we have the Olhinho do Céu gate and the Boirim gate. Only one person can pass through this opening at a time, which made possible to control the entry of people in the village when the walls were closed in the past.
Entering through the El Rei Gate, we came across Corredora, the main street. At the end of the street, we find the Igreja da Misericórdia, and further on, the Pelourinho, in front of the Igreja de São Pedro. Although small, this church holds one of Trancoso's greatest treasures, the Tomb of Bandarra. Opposite this church, we see the current Largo de Dom Dinis, where, around the 16th century, there was the convent of Clarissas, where the recipe for sweet sardines originated from.
And speaking of convents, we cannot forget to mention the convent of São Francisco, a former Franciscan convent built in 1572. In 2009, it was converted into the municipal theatre.
Still within the walls and next to the Ducal Palace, we find the Church of Santa Maria, accompanied by its imposing leaden tree.
Another curious fact about our land is that, despite being typically Christian, it bears numerous marks of the Jewish presence. In fact, in the 15th century, around 700 Jews lived here, which seems to justify the approximately 250 crypto-Jewish and the new Christian marks that can be found in Rua da Alegria, known for its colorful hydrangeas, Rua dos Cavaleiros and Rua da Estrela.
That's right. In terms of build heritage, we can highlight the House of the Gato Preto or Lion of Judah, a curious building, and the Poço do Mestre. In addition, Trancoso is also home to the Isaac Cardoso Jewish Culture Interpretation Center. This space is a living testimony to the Jewish presence in our land, and in addition to learning more about Jewish and New Christian culture, we can find a replica of Sephardic synagogue. This was built with the aim of allowing all tourists, religious or not, to enjoy it, since there is no Jewish community in Trancoso.
But Trancoso Sol is not nourished solely by its built heritage. The stones of cobblestone streets have witnessed much history unfold. It is impossible to talk about Trancoso without mentioning the royal wedding of King Dinis and Queen Isabel of Aragon, which took place here in 1282. After getting married in Barcelona, King Lavrador offered Queen Santa the village of Trancoso. To commemorate this important date, every year a history festival is held, where the wedding is reenacted. Thus, in 5 rounds, we can also find statues of the 2 monarchs in their honor. We must not forget the mention of the chapel of São Bartolomeu, near the Delray Gate, where it is believed the 2 were married.
Do Pai, do Filho, do Espírito Santo. Amém. Vos declaro Maria.
But that's not all. On May 29, 1385, Trancoso witnessed a decisive battle between Portugal and Castile during the crisis of 1383-1385, a period when Portugal was in danger of losing its crown. This battle was fought near the chapel of São Marcos. The Portuguese army, outnumbered and composed of people and nobles, defeated the Castilian troops.
Would you like to know an interesting fact? It is said that a month after the Castile's defeat, King John of Castile, passing through Trancoso, ordered the chapel of São Marcos to be set on fire in revenge. And the most impressive thing is that archaeological excavations have actually proven this to be true. Even today, we can visit this battlefield next to the chapel of São Marcos.
The truth is that we couldn't fail to mention Father Costa, one of the most emblematic figures in our region. Despite being a priest, this man had 299 children. In view of such a scandalous behavior, he was violently condemned in 1487. However, the king pardoned him for the death penalty, since he had helped to populate the region of Beira Alta. Quite a story, isn't it?
And since you mentioned renowned figures, Leonardo, we really have to talk about Bandarra. Gonçalo Andes Bandarra, after whom our secondary school is named, was a Portuguese shoemaker, poet, and a prophet born in Trancoso. He became famous for his ballades, which were, at the same time, enigmatic prophecies about the future. Such intriguing rhymes caught the attention of the Inquisition, and he was condemned to silence.
Although they tried to silence him, his name is still on the lips of the people of Trancoso today, and his verses are well known, such as the famous
Vejo, direi vejo, agora que estou cegando, semente del rei Fernando, fazer grande despejo, e seguir com grão desejo, e deixar a sua vinha, e dizer, esta casa é minha, agora que cá me vejo.
Due to this importance, there is a statue in his honor in front of the town hall. To truly understand who he was and what he did, we can also visit Bandarra's house and interpretive center.
Although we have mentioned many names and monuments of our city here, the truth is that much remains unsaid. The town park, the ducal palace, and the anthropomorphic thumbs are other examples of places worth visiting. But well, I think that we'll have to wait for another guided tour. We hope to see you in Trancoso.